Hi, my name is Candy from candypalooza.com. It is wonderful to get to speak to you both about pixels or pencils versus pixels. I keep saying it backwards. I'm like, oh, welcome, Phil and Bay.
Nice to
So
be here.
um,
Yeah, thank you.
I just watched the film today and it is fantastic. And you guys really hit so many important points and just so much information during the film. And I took art in high school and I took art in college. And this is going to be a film that's going to be shown in classrooms, like from the moment it's available to stream until forever. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That was definitely a something we talked about for sure.
Absolutely. So for both of you, I'll start with Phil. Um, do you remember your first experience with animated film? And if you do, which one was it?
Um, my earliest memory is probably Dumbo and Jungle Book. And I just loved it. I thought it was so, like, as a kid, I just loved it so much. So yeah, that was my first experience with animation, and ever since then I was addicted to it. Saturday morning cartoons was a definite must. Like
Mm.
it still is, but
What about
Um,
you, Phil? Or Bay, sorry.
I do want to say my right before I moved to LA, I moved out here with my rock band, and the last show we played before we moved to LA was at Lollapalooza. So I'm a big Palooza supporter.
Hey, that's kind of where I got my name. So thanks.
I assumed there was a relationship there.
Yeah.
I get probably the same. I mean, I remember seeing um, the Jungle Book when I was a kid, The Secret of Nim.
Mm,
It's hard to know which was first because it was, when you're a kid, everything is everything. But it
right.
was always, even some of the bad movies, the Disney movies, the Robin Hood movies, and
Mm,
things like that aren't considered to be classics. To me, I didn't know any better. I thought they were unbelievable,
right.
and they'll always have a place in my heart. But it was, yeah, very inspired. I mean, I wanted to be an animator. I know Phil grew up wanting to be an animator. These were just you can't overstate how important these films were to me as a kid.
Right. And was it, since you mentioned, Secrets of Nim, was it by chance that those were some of the films that were, talked about during the filming?
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because that's oh, you mentioned that wasn't there, so that's awesome.
Well, can I
Yeah,
tell you one more very quick story? When I was a little kid, I went to Disney World and you could watch the animators animating, and they were animating Beauty and the Beast. And when I met Tom Bancroft, who was one of our producers who started this project with Phil, I told him the story, and he said, I was one of those animators that was animating while people were watching. And he's like, I've met a lot of people like you. It was very inspiring to me. And I think that them putting those windows in inspired a whole generation of people wanting to get into animation and enjoy animated films. So
oh
it's
yeah,
pretty
absolutely.
wild. Very
That's a
full circle.
full
Yeah.
circle, absolutely. Oh my goodness, that gave me chills. Um, so, working together as co-directors for the film, you had a slew of amazing animators that are also producers and directors. How was it to, how did you guys choose who to go with, or did you just put like an all call out and say who wants to be a part of this?
Yeah. So early on, the idea was to gather the story. We knew that there was depth that we haven't discovered yet. So honestly, it was anybody we had connection with. So organically, it kind of built. So we
Love it.
started getting who we could. The word was getting out, and like people were like wanting to be in on it. And so getting the interest was very like there was not a problem with that. So
Love it.
as we were able to do what we were able to do early on, um, we did the best we can as far as like getting who we could, scheduling what we could, doing as much as we could. From that point, it kind of formulated more of a coherent like structure, a little bit of a structure more. So that was where Bay came in. He was able to look at that, dissect it, and then find the missing pieces that we needed to finalize this. So like finding those people at first was just organic and like came along, hey, everybody wants to tell the story, everybody was involved, everybody was excited, but we needed to have some more depth that we just couldn't get and we didn't know how to get. So build our team, like we couldn't have done this without each other. So it was a really cool project, a really cool experience to be able to like need each other and and just because that's what this is, it's we're inspiring the world to need each other and work with each other, and that's, you can't do a feature film without a team of people, so.
Yeah. And I want to give a shout out to my friend Mindy Johnson, who literally wrote the book on female animators at Disney. And so she was my first call of getting some of these ladies in here and hearing their side of it, and having someone like Tina Price, who was the linchpin of computer animation at Disney. And Tina's group was the group that did the magic carpet and Aladdin and all these things. So finding those missing pieces. And at that point, we were so far along that we knew exactly who we needed to go out to, so we could, and we got most of the people we wanted to. The truth is, a lot of these folks are so busy and they're traveling all over the world that it was hard scheduling it, but we got just some nothing but legends.
Absolute legends. Absolutely. Yeah, I was like, oh, they put some women in there. I was like, yes. I was like, because I mean, they were, they're, as one of the ladies had said, she's like, I came in as an apprentice, and it just kind of happened that way. So it's like, oh, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
I know when I first met Jane Bear, who's in the film, she worked on Sleeping Beauty. And when I met her at a party years ago, a holiday party here in LA, and she told me how she'd animated Benny the Cab and Roger Rabbit. And I was like, no way. It's just, you meet these folks who are just these normal folks, and when you start talking about their work, they just light up and they love telling their story. And that was very helpful, that they were very much willing and eager to share.
Yeah, that was one of the things that it just made my heart happy watching the film. Is you could tell, like, it was just, this was obviously it's a passion project for you guys. It was a passion for them to be able to share their stories, and I could just, you just see their face light up and the light in their eyes. It was absolutely amazing. I'm like, I want to watch it again, as a matter of fact, because you just like, what did I miss something. So Bay, you're noted as writing the narration. Did you work closely with Ming-Na Wen? How did you guys come up with how did you do the narration part of it?
So Ming-Na had already filmed the part of her being the animated character, and she did an earlier narration on the film, but things changed so much that once the edit was basically done, I knew that we needed her to come back in and tie all these different pieces together. And she was very gracious in coming back and doing that again. And so her schedule is very tight. As you know, she's a very busy person. So I found out, okay, this is the day she can do it. It was like a day or 2 days away. And so I very quickly wrote all of this stuff. And I remember I met with her that morning, and I said, hey, I know that this is all, written in your voice. Feel free to change anything that you want. And she read it and she's like, this is wonderful. Let's do it. And I was very scared. I was scared that she would hate it. And she was nothing but complimentary, and she elevated my writing to a degree that made it sound much better than it is. But she's a real gem.
Yeah.
And a legend, an actual Disney legend. She's actually been anointed a Disney legend. So
I think I was there that year too. I think I was there. Yeah, that was amazing. She's a phenomenal actor and just all around just amazing. So yeah.
Just a great person.
That was probably one of the things that I really enjoyed about it was, you get to see the people behind, and then you get to actually see someone that has been a part, of the world, that, as a voice over actor. So that was super, super cool. That was a great addition to the film.
That was one thing I realized, is that she had been voicing Mulan throughout this whole era. So she had started, Mulan 2, these hand-drawn films, and then had done different CG versions of it. So she'd actually, through her experience, kind of traversed this entire era, and that's why that it made like the perfect sense to have her do that intro like that.
Yes, it
Yeah.
really was. It really was. So at the end of the film, there's a Walt Disney quote that's put on the film, that's put on the, in black. That's what we storytellers do. We restore order with animation. We instill hope again and again and again. What was so important and what was so poignant about that quote that you wanted to include it in the film?
Well, originally we had a lot of Walt Disney quotes in the film, and it just became something where it was like he just had, there's a million great Walt Disney quotes. Clearly the guy invented a lot of this stuff. But that was one that when we were talking about the future at the end of the film, it was nice to bring it back to Walt Disney and bring it back to his creative mind that set this whole thing going. It was just really nice way to tip the hat to the OG, so that's why we kept it.
Yeah, I thought that's fantastic. One last thing, I know I'm running out of time, but Phil, I know I looked on your Twitter, on your X account, and I noticed that back in 2019, you have a picture with Jorge Gutierrez, and this was, I think you'd hashtag it the pencil test. And I know
Yeah.
that was the last, that last little short at the end. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
The title or the
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so pencil test was the original idea for the title.
Okay.
And that was based on the idea that what was the thing that caused the animator to do what they loved? And
Mhm.
that was the turning point for everybody. When they saw their first pencil test, their rough first animation, it's the thing that like just blew up in their heart, and that's what drove them to do what they did. And I thought that was so powerful, and obviously because of the story formulating, it changes, but yeah, the pencil test was kind of the idea, is like, hey, what can we name this? This is, we have a lot of like animators who know what that is, and we tried to explain it a little bit in the film, but it's just like as the story changed, it's like we had to adjust, so yeah, so that's kind of what that is.
Awesome. Yeah, I was like, ooh, look at that. How cool.
Yeah, Jorge is awesome.
Yeah, I follow him on Twitter. And yeah,
Yeah.
he's fantastic. But unfortunately, this is all the time we have. And again, congratulations,
Thank you
Phil.
so much.
Bailey. Amazing job. And like I said, you guys are gonna be in animation history from now on. You guys are gonna be, yeah. I
It's a lot of responsibility.
I know,
Yeah.
right? It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's so nice meeting you.
You too.